Congolese vice president known as Miniature Mobutu has conviction for war crimes overturned as international judges rule he was not responsible for his soldiers raping and murdering people. Former Congolese Vice President Jean Pierre Bemba has had an 18-year sentence for war crimes committed in the Central African Republic overturned on appeal. In 2016, ICC judges unanimously found Bemba guilty on 5 charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity for abuses committed by his troops during a 5-month rampage in the neighboring CAR. But in a scathing assessment, The Hague-based ICC's appeal judges said Bemba, nicknamed Miniature Mobutu after the late Congolese tyrant, was erroneously convicted for specific criminal acts. Mr. Bemba cannot be held criminally liable for the crimes committed by his troops in the Central African Republic, presiding Judge Christine van den Wingert told the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Bemba, 55, dressed in a blue-gray suit, light blue shirt and dark blue tie, showed little emotion as the judge read the verdict, but his supporters exploded in cheers on the public gallery, prompting the judge to call them to order. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, capital of Kinshasa, Bemba's supporters erupted in joy as they watched the announcement on live TV, and cheering was even heard at the National Assembly. "Our leader, we await you," some chanted. "I weep for joy. Jean Pierre Bemba was a dead man. He has just been revived," one said. The heavyset leader had sent his militia, the Congolese Liberation Movement, which he turned into a political organization, into the CAR in 2002 to quash a coup against the then-president, Ange Felix Pautas. At his sentencing in 2016, trial judges blamed Bemba for failing to stop a series of sadistic and cruel rapes and murders as well as pillaging by his soldiers. The trial was the first before the ICC to focus on sexual violence as a weapon of war. It was also the first to determine whether a military commander bore responsibility for the conduct of troops under his control. The ICC Court of Appeal said that trial judges were also wrong in their finding that Bemba could in fact prevent crimes being committed by his MLC troops. The trial chamber ignored significant testimonial evidence that Mr. Bemba's ability to investigate and punish crimes in the CAR was limited, Judge van den Wingert said. At an appeal hearing early this year, Bemba's lawyers argued that he did not maintain effective control over his troops because there was no physical evidence that he gave any orders or that he was present on the ground. They also asked the judges to lower his sentence, given that he had already spent close to a decade behind bars at the ICC's detention center in The Hague. His sentence was the longest of any individual convicted by the ICC so far. Prosecutors, however, also appealed, asking judges to increase Bemba's sentence to 25 years as it did not reflect the gravity of all the crimes. Bemba nevertheless remains behind bars in a separate case in which he was sentenced to 1 year in jail for bribing witnesses and fined €300,000, £264,000, during his main war crimes trial. Judges are to decide shortly whether Mr. Bemba's continued detention is warranted, van den Wingert said. Bemba had unsuccessfully opposed President Joseph Kabila in elections in 2006. After his militia clashed violently with government forces in 2007, he was forced out of the DRC but retains a groundswell of support.